Okay, so Tesla, right. They had this We Robot event, and I gotta say, it's got everyone buzzing. Like, less about cars, more about, well, robots. We're diving into some news, a video breakdown, even some snippets from the event itself. And honestly, I'm kind of geeking out a little. Robots, man.
The big takeaway for me is Musk going all in on this whole automation thing, not just self-driving, but like everything. Robotaxis, these autonomous vans, even humanoid robots, this event had it all. It's a pretty wild vision of the future, to be honest.
So right off the bat, the Cybercab, this little two-seater rolls out, and Musk is talking about it being totally driverless. No steering wheel, no pedals, just sleek design and wireless charging. And get this, he's saying they'll be on the roads by 2026, under $30,000. Wild, right?
That price tag definitely makes you think,
Yeah.
especially compared to what cars cost these days. No gas, insurance, parking savings could be huge. But, and this is a big but, Tesla hasn't always hit their deadlines in the past, have they?
Yeah, didn't they promise robotaxis by like 2020? What happened there?
Let's just say turning a promise into a car that actually drives itself is a tad more complicated than it sounds. And with the Cybercab, some big hurdles come to mind. No steering wheel or pedals. That throws a wrench into safety regulations for sure. Governments are going to be super careful about letting those loose.
And speaking of loose on the roads, Musk says these cybercabs will cost a measly 20 cents a mile. That's cheaper than some public transport. Is that even doable?
Ambitious, definitely. Even if you factor in maintenance and electricity, hitting that price needs some serious tech breakthroughs. Plus, remember that 20 cents figure? That's based on their vision-only self-driving.
Vision only. What's that all about?
So Tesla, they're all about cameras and AI for their self-driving. It's a bold move, especially since most others use cameras, radar, LiDAR, pricier but potentially more accurate in certain situations. Tesla's betting big their AI can handle it without LiDAR, which would be huge for cost. But yeah, safety concerns are there.
Right. Bad weather, low light. Wouldn't that mess with cameras? And would you get into a car with no way to take control?
$1 million question, right? People need to feel safe before they ditch their steering wheels. Public perception is going to make or break the Cybercab.
Okay, so Cybercab, jury's still out, but hold on, because we're not done with vehicles just yet. Musk also unveiled this robo-van. Picture this. A futuristic party bus, fits 20 people, or you can haul cargo.
From a city planning perspective, now this is interesting. If these robo-vans actually took off, we're talking a whole new world of urban transport. Imagine
Yeah.
robo-van-only lanes, zipping people and stuff around, less traffic, cleaner air. Public transport becomes actually good.
It's like SimCity, but in the real world. Speaking of real world, though, wouldn't cities need a complete makeover to make room for these things? New roads, charging stations, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. You're talking a total rethink of how cities work, how people get around. And let's not forget jobs. If robo-vans are everywhere, what happens to taxi drivers, truckers, delivery drivers? It's a big shift.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Every exciting possibility, there's a whole bunch of challenges and what-ifs that come along with it. Okay, so we've got self-driving cars, futuristic vans. But now let's talk about this Optimus thing, because Musk did not hold back on this one. A humanoid robot. For like 20 to 30 grand in the future, he says. Doing everything, teaching, babysitting, even serving us drinks.
It's definitely a bold vision. And look, Musk is a long-term thinker, we know that. But let's not forget, making a robot that can actually do complex stuff in the real world, that's a whole other level. Getting a car to drive straight is one thing, but a machine that understands, like human environments, interacts with people safely, that's a whole different ballgame.
But they had Optimus robots, like actual robots,
Yeah.
walking around at the event, serving drinks. It wasn't just a car on stage, it was real.
No, it was a controlled demo, definitely. But hey, baby steps are still steps. The tech behind this stuff, machine learning, computer vision, robotics, it's all moving so fast we're seeing breakthroughs all the time.
It does make you think, though, is this exciting or kind of creepy? Musk seems to think robots are the key to, like, a utopia of abundance. But what about jobs? Our sense of purpose?
Those are the big questions, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about can we build these things, but should we? And if we do, how do we make sure it's good for everyone, not just a few people?
It's a lot to take in. On the one hand, you've got this future where transport's cheap and easy, robots do all the boring stuff, resources are shared fairly. Sounds pretty utopian.
But then there's the whole unintended consequences thing. Like, if commuting's fun and effortless, do we just get even more sprawl? What happens to communities if everyone's in their own little robo bubble?
It's like we're at the beginning of something huge, like the early internet days. Remember all the promises back then? Nobody knew how it would really change things.
And just like the internet, this tech could be incredibly democratizing. But we've also seen how it can be a double-edged sword. That's why these conversations are so important now, while things are still developing.
So what should we be watching for to see if Tesla can actually pull this off?
First off, their full self-driving, FSD. It's their driver assistance system, but it's still being worked on. If they can't get FSD right for their current cars, then the Cybercab and Robovan are dead in the water.
So FSD is like the test case for these bigger projects.
Exactly. Also, watch the regulatory stuff, both in the US and globally. That's going to be a whole battle. And of course, the big one, can they actually build these things at scale at the price they're promising?
And what about Optimus? What should we be looking out for there?
We need to see these robots in the real world, not just controlled demos. Can they handle surprises, do new tasks, learn and get better over time? Those are the key things. And keep an eye on the developer community too. If Tesla opens up Optimus, that could be huge. Developers coming up with new uses, stuff we haven't even thought of yet.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, right? Like all the possibilities. But also a little bit, I don't know, intimidating. This whole we robot thing, it wasn't just about some new gadgets. It was Musk saying, this is the future, folks. Whether he's right or wrong, it's got everyone talking.
No doubt, the guy's a master at getting us to dream, to imagine what's possible. But, and this is the big but, turning those dreams into reality, that's the hard part. And that's where things get interesting for Tesla, for engineers, for regulators, for all of us, really. We've all got a part to play in figuring this out.
So where does that leave us? Like the everyday people listening to this, what can we even do?
You know, that's the best question.
Yeah.
And honestly, you've got the most important job of all of. Stay informed, ask those tough questions, don't let the people making this stuff off the hook. The future isn't just happening to us, we're building it right now with the choices we make.
No pressure, right? But seriously, this whole deep dive, it really makes you think about the world we're making. Bigger than just cars, bigger than robots even.
Exactly. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. If you could ask Optimus to do one thing, anything at all, what would it be? What does that tell you about the future you want to see?
Whoa, that's a good one to chew on. All right, everyone, another deep dive in the books. But hey, the conversation doesn't end here. Keep those questions coming. Keep digging deeper. Keep thinking for yourselves. We'll catch you next time.